What's up, everybody? It's your boy, John. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Clear Vision Podcast. Hope y'all enjoyed this clip. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Peace.
I think that's where the benefit of a spiritual life has really helped me with this journey. Like, I have a relationship with God, and I have a relationship with the Holy Spirit that lives within me because I've accepted Jesus. And I think this battle that I feel like a lot of people have is because they don't have any sort of spiritual life. Everything is external. Like you're saying, you adopt strategies from these people, and this is where you believe you are how you're supposed to live. You have no inward spiritual work that's taking place.
But what about the people that are in the church? For example, I went to Church of Christ, so speaking in tongues and dancing and running around, that's foreign to me.
Right.
But you go somewhere, BJ, I know you've been in many churches. Some people be faking.
Yeah, I would agree.
And for a show, I
would agree.
So, I mean,
I'm just saying, like, the battle of identity. Who am I? How do I live this life? We all agree there's some sort of like, I would say all people should have some sort of spiritual connection. Like, you should be disconnected from the world.
I know somebody that's atheist, bro, and one of the most influential people that I know.
But to be atheist, though, and I'm not familiar exactly what they fully believe in, but you would at least have to believe that there's some sort of spirit.
He says
you have some sort of spirit.
He says his people raised him and told him, "You just be a good person. That's it. Be yourself and be good to the world." And he's one of the most influential people I know.
Okay,
one of the greatest people I know. I do whatever help. Like, if God is what helps you in your spirit.
But what is good? So this is where I get conflicted with atheism. If you don't have any spiritual connection to know and decipher between good and evil, who are you? Yeah, what is good to you? What is good?
Would you want somebody to do the same thing to you?
Like, as far as your feelings?
So, yeah, I mean, would you go up and slap somebody? I think there's some things where you don't have to know what good and bad is. Some things you just know better. So I'm not going to kill somebody. I'm not just going to go and kill somebody.
Right.
Because I don't want somebody just to come and kill my mom. I'm not going to rape somebody because I don't want somebody to rape my sister.
Okay.
I can imagine
So you're just like morally, like understanding good and bad morals.
Because I feel like even if we get caught up on a religious tip, is there's some things even in that realm that take you from being yourself.
Right.
And there's some things in that could take you from you. Well,
I follow you. What you're saying, like, you, like the unique individual that you were born to be or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, for those that are struggling with identity, what has helped me is Christianity.
For sure, yeah.
It has, because it gives you a guide. It gives you
whatever. It's whatever. If
it's a guide.
If it's the Quran, if whatever makes you a good.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say, like, I don't want to use that people don't have that spirit. Like, I mean, I just think there's more to it than, in my opinion, there's just more to it than that. Because I feel like it's not hard to be a good person.
Right.
I don't think it's hard. I think your best gift to the world is being authentically you.
Right.
Regardless of what you believe in, regardless of.
But either way, whether it's your spirit or just your consciousness, it's going to take internal work. You have to look inward to figure that out.
Yeah. So if you're struggling, God knows who you are.
Right.
So God will reveal to you who you are.
Right.
So,
yeah. That's a message. I mean, that's a message that I attach to, and it it just helps, bro, because, bro, this world is hard, John. We could all, atheists, Christians, whoever, we could all agree that this world it's a hard world, bro. And it's really, there's a lot of suffering that takes place. Regardless of who you are, one day you're going to lose your mom. One day you're going to lose your brother. One day you're going to be put in a situation where you are going to be suffering. Like misery is what this life entails, as long as you live.
So even, for example, quick story. So the dude I'm talking about, right? He told me after his grandmother passed, his family has a tradition. Again, they're not really spiritual or anything like that. They have a tradition though. They dig their own family's graves. They meditate they sit with the grave for days before the body goes in and all that. They party around the grave, like they're celebrating. And there's some things like suffering. We hear a lot about one of the first stories, and even going with religion, the first real story of suffering I heard was Jesus. And I had nightmares, bro, of the crucifixion of Jesus. I still remember the picture. We downstairs and having Bible class, kid Bible class, sitting in the room. Right. And I remember they gave us a drawing of Jesus on a cross. And I just looked at it and I was like, what is going? They had the blood coming out his hands and him just on the cross dead. Right. That was very traumatic, bro. Right. That was the first real
representation
of suffering that I seen. And it was scary, bro. I had nightmares, bro. And I remember we had to color it. Right. We were coloring Jesus' crucifixion. And I'm looking back at it, I was like, that's crazy anyway. Right. Color it. Jesus.
In the red.
I mean, they were, hey, you got a red? Can I see the red? It's like, no, I'm coloring, bro. Yeah.
But it's like, sometimes I feel like, God, suffering is necessary, but I feel like everybody has their own. I don't think we should be taught about suffering, because the Zen way of it is you treat the highs like the lows. Okay. Right? You don't get too excited over the good. And you don't get too down about the bad. Yeah. Because all of it's going to happen regardless. And once you unlearn that, because what does suffering mean, bro? Suffering is.
I know what the Bible says about suffering. I feel like I say this every podcast. For the suffering we feel in present time is not to be compared to the glory that would be revealed. So even in that, the suffering of when he was on the cross, the glory was when he rose. So I feel like, yes, there is going to be suffering, but the spiritual part of it, I feel like, is even in that suffering. Glory's going to come, and then you're not even going to be thinking about the suffering. Like today, right now, I'm looking at 7 in my peripheral vision. Right. This is the glory. Right. I'm not thinking about last year when I was in court and I was talking crazy.
But when you were in that suffering, you were able to see that. Right. Because of the example.
Because I know glory's coming. It's just not today.
Yeah. And that's where I feel like I've had just an advantage on life. It's because that message I was able to adopt young and understand. When I would see my dad or my mom pray and stay connected through pain and suffering. My dad lost a lot of people in his life. So I saw a lot of death. I saw a lot of examples of how to handle grief. And it was based on spirit. I was based on those types of values like that, where it's like, what you're going through right now, the battle's already won. And believe in that, though. Like, that logically does not make sense. Like, if I was just a human that was walking around Earth and I was in pain and I had to rely on my logic, that makes no sense at all. Like, someone in BJ's shoes that doesn't believe what he believes, was going through what he was going through, still having to come shoot podcasts. I probably wouldn't even come to this podcast, bro. I would be in bed, sleeping, resting. I would not want to be, like, what I'm saying is, like, the life of not having that belief of the battle's already been won, and not even by me. The battle's won because of my faith in God. a hard life to live, in my opinion. Like, I don't know where the peace comes from. Because I think that's where we all want to get, bro. Peace is a place where I feel like where the success feel comes from. Like peace. Like when you're just sitting out at a lake, like I was with my kids at the lake when I was just looking at them play water guns and I was just sitting there under a tree with my chair. I was at peace, bro. That's one of the best feelings that you can feel in this life. And I feel like however you can get there, whatever belief you can attach to, but I do think that's where we want to be. A state of peace.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to, I guess since I have a background in spirituality, I do believe all that.
Right.
It's hard for me, but hard for me to understand why.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really go into depth. Y'all make me want to ask them, but it's, I see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I swear,
it's
bro.
an interesting thing.
It is interesting, but sometimes I don't think we're supposed to.
No.
I don't think we're supposed to know for real. Like, I think that is the problem of the human spirit that gets in the way, bro. We try to figure it out.
Try to make sense of what don't need to be made sense of.
Man, bro.
And I love talking to atheists, actually, because it's like, because I think people think that I'm going to approach that and try to convince you. Mm-hmm. Not at all. No. I say, God can only be revealed. So whenever that happens for you, that's just when it's going to happen.
That's right.
I'm not about to sit here like, no, God is real because
ABC.
Like, no, just God bless you, brother.
Yeah.
But what's interesting though, when I talk to though, it's like, he don't even worry about it. Like it's almost like a broken, like a shackle that he never had to even put on. You know what I mean?
Or like a battle that he never had to try to fight. Of right, like who's
like he doesn't care if it's the Hindu god, the Christian god, Zeus. He's like, no, just don't worry about it. I'll just be a good person and live my life, you know. Right.
And again, bro, I do respect that, bro.
Yeah.
Whatever you use to get to your state of peace. I mean, I think that's where the world needs to be. So
some people need it, some people don't. That's what I believe. I
need what?
God.
Oh.
Some people need it, some people don't.
You all right over there, man? Cook up, man.
I just think, I mean, some people need it.
Why would someone not need God? That's my thing. Because if you don't need God, then I feel like...
So they haven't had God their whole life, right?
That's what they think.
Hold on, wait.
They've had God. Someone was praying for it.
How do you know? What if his whole family is, he said he was raised, his mom always donated, always gave to people, always. So when he gets older, he just follows the footsteps. It could be God, it could be whatever, but I do have a challenge.
I do have a challenge that I would, if he were here today you want to be a good person. I feel like one of the core characteristics of a good person is humility.
Okay.
Humble. If you truly believe that there is not a God and you feel like this creation of life, the earth, the planets, I've always felt like this, even as a kid. This is why adopting my beliefs wasn't as difficult as most. I believe in a creator. I believe that something, an entity, and I feel like there has to be some sort of belief in this from everyone. This world that we live in was created. Mm-hmm. This did not just happen. Even if the Big Bang theorists, had to have been created.
I think what we think and what they think is just, don't worry about it. Why care?
So why care?
It happened. We're here.
Can you be thankful though? Can you be thankful that we are not, I'm talking very small metrics away from being burnt alive by the sun?
Why matter? Why care? Because if it happens, it happens. It's almost like...
But my thing is, that's where the humility you're missing humility then. You're missing humility in the beauty of life. You're missing being...
I don't think so, because bro travels the world. He looks at all the amazing things. But at the end of the day is...
But
I can
you just deserve that as a person. You just deserve to go and look at the ocean and enjoy the waves. You just because you're alive, you deserve that.
But I think we're missing the point is why? Why care? It's there.
Thank you. Say thank you.
But if you don't believe in that, what are you saying thank you to?
Then that's where I conflict.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. It's in our minds is why does it matter? Like for example, if your mom and Dion is in the kitchen and they're cooking, they both made spectacular dishes.
Right.
They leave on a trip, their phones is cut off. You ain't gotta ask who. Does it matter who made what? It's good, right?
It does matter to me because I want to know who to tell thank you. I'm telling you, bro, like the humility that I feel like a person lacks that doesn't believe in a God is an issue. I think it's a critical issue internally because to your question, yes, if someone made me a meal and I'm eating it and I'm enjoying it, I've got to say thank you.
Right.
Because I've just built as a thankful person.
Right.
I went to the beach, bro. I went to Miami Beach with Dion on our honeymoon and I was just sitting there looking at this beautiful ocean. Mm-hmm. I told God, thank you out loud because I'm thankful that I'm alive and I'm able to do this. When Dion breaks her knee in half, bro, and she can't walk, and now I see her walking through the kitchen, moving with my kids, picking them up, baking, I say, God, thank you. It could have been different. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you don't have that in you, then you just feel like the world revolves around you. This is supposed to happen. Good things are supposed to happen to you. Like
good things are supposed to, and bad things are supposed to happen.
True. But again, where you just rely on your own logic and view of the world too.
Or don't even rely on logic. You just walk through it. That's why I can see both sides. I see your side.
Yeah.
But I can also see that side because it's almost like a carefree, free of stress and a free of worry life. You don't have to worry that I made a bad decision. Now I might burn it for eternity. But you also don't have to, like, for example, they used to preach to me, yeah, we want to get to heaven because the streets are gold and the gates are pearly. I was like, I don't care about gold streets or a pearly gate.
Right.
I don't care about that. I do care about not burning for eternity, though. So I'm going to get baptized, so I just don't go there. But I think yes, you're calling out all the high times, but you also got to give them credit for the low times because at the end of the day, man, this bad thing happened. It is what it is. I'll make light of it however I can. Because at the end of the day, God gave us free will for us to think what we want to think, feel how we want to feel about it. But he also gave us the opportunity just to keep stepping, like, regardless. So, like I said, he said his favorite person died. They sat by the grave where they're going to bury her and talked about her life, just sat there. And by the time it was time to bury her, everybody was smiling, not crying, because they've already accepted it. They don't have to worry she's going to hell or she's going, like that Tyler Perry movie, the new one that came out. And the preacher was preaching about how bad he was and why it's good that he's gone.
Oh, dang. I see that.
Tyler Perry wilding.
That's Hollywood. But, I have a question, though. Not a question, really. Just more of like a justification of who I am. One thing that I've always felt with the belief system that I have is like, I'm not alone, bro. Like I have godly intervention that I can pull from. I have a prayer life that I can lean on that I feel like I wish people would understand and adopt into their lives. Like when you have prayer, you have extra strength. When you're going through pain, because that is one thing. We all experience pain. How can you get through pain by yourself? I've never had to experience that, and I think it's helped me to be able to know I can ask God for help through this. And without that, I'm ignorant. I don't understand how, because we're not strong enough. We're not strong enough mentally. We're not strong enough as people to really take on everything by ourselves, bro. I don't think it was meant that way. I don't think it was meant for you to take on life by yourself. I feel like there was some sort of design for us to need. There's a hole in our heart that has to be filled by something. It's God-shaped. What people fill it with, whatever they fill it with, I fill it with God, and it gives me like a power to pull from. Like I really do. I feel powerful, bro. I feel like a powerful guy. And it's not that I'm strong. It's not that I'm better than anybody. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like I sit higher than anyone. I feel like I have a source that I can pull from to get me through whatever, and it's God. And so, yeah, that's helped me.
Well,
that was deep.
This is the Clear Vision Podcast, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Trevo, where can they find us at, bro?
You can find us here on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, go like that video right now. All podcast stores, we're there. So tune in, follow, subscribe.
Yes. Listener letter, man. If y'all want to write us a listener letter, who are you, man? What makes you you? When did you realize who you were and what you are, and just how you feel about just anything? Just when did you become your own person? Let us know. clearvisionpod@gmail.com, Instagram clearvisionpod, comment section of youtube.com. Any of that, man. BJ, how can they support us, bro?
Do you know who you are? Because I do.
Amen.
$sign Clearvision Pod on Cash App.
Oh, God. I thought you was going to sell some Holy Spirit water.
Yes, man. Again, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Clearvision Pod.
The pastors that like sell holy water and coming across the screen, bro.
They got the ad.
I did not like that, bro. Growing up,
that's crazy. Selling holy water.
Whoa.
Yeah. Peace, y'all.
That's wild.
This has its own magic.